Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Hold the Mic. We are your hosts.
I see you. I've been living rent free for a week.
for 7 days. Welcome to this week's episode of Hold the Mic. We are your hosts. I'm ryanshead. Brother, this is Ian Sherman. How are
What
you
up,
doing?
though, man? What up? It's so good to see you, man.
You
It's
too.
been a long week. It's been a long week.
Dude, you have no idea. And just a shout out to Robbie Sherman, who was on last week. If you missed last week's episode, you really should go check it out. We actually ended up having some really good discussions around a lot of things. So it ended up being a great episode, as it usually is when we have Robbie on. So big shout out to him for coming on. I think he's coming back.
Big shout out to Rob.
Yeah, I think he's coming back in a few weeks. So you know,
Yeah. He was telling
definitely
me
excited for that.
He has his calendar opening up, so he said we'll lock it in and everything.
So
always fun to see Big Bro.
Yep, always good, and always good to have a differing opinion and differing view on here. I think because you and I we really do tend to just naturally agree on a lot of things.
No, man, I hate your guts.
Well, I mean, besides that, but but politically,
Yeah. No, Rob adds a whole nother element. I mean, he definitely, with LGBTQ, behind him, and there's just a different ideology that's all there all together. And,
well, he's a part of communities that you and I aren't a part of.
That's
and
correct.
it's just like everything. I talk about transgender stuff a lot.
Right.
I still feel ignorant to the community as a whole, but it's like I'm so glad that I've been able to personally, make some friends, in that community that have really opened my eyes to, what it's like to live their daily life and what it really is that they're looking for, from us as a society and our government. And I think that those are good conversations to have. And I hope that we're able to, I'm hoping I can bring some of them on the show and we can have those love conversation. And what I hope that we can have the conversations that we have in private, because I think that they would be so eye-opening to some folks that I hope they'll allow us to have it publicly. So I hope
get canceled then if that's the case. So then there we are.
They want to cancel me for support of the transgender community, then fucking get to it.
Let's get it going.
Because
we're gonna have a real honest conversation.
You're not gonna change my opinion of that. Because look, man, at the end of the day, being a bigot's being a bigot. Doesn't matter where it's coming from. And just like a lot of people, I think if you're honest with yourself as you grow older and you get some self-reflection,
right,
and you're able to self-assess, that you go, damn, I really said some things that probably hurt some people, around me that I didn't intend to. It's just you say things out of ignorance. There's a difference, and that's another thing. There's a difference between saying something out of ignorance and saying something out of malice.
Right.
If you know something and you're saying it to purposely hurt someone or to purposely attack a community, you're saying it with malice. If you're saying it out of ignorance just because you don't know, that's different. I can fix ignorance, but you can't fix somebody being a malicious piece of garbage. So
no, I mean, people who are malicious, and you know where it comes from, a very self-centered and angry place. And some of it makes me question if that's like they're fighting something internally. Because there's an attraction, and then they don't like that there's an attraction, and therefore they have to have this pendulum swing of to be nasty and verbalize that anger because it's something inside that they need to work on. I think that about a lot of people who have a lot of hate coming out.
Even me, I think there was a lot of hate at one point coming out of me because, going back to my mental health, when you're not diagnosed and you're not getting the care you need, you lash out in ways you probably wouldn't normally, so it's kind of like that, you just kind of, you hurt people's feelings and you say things that, you probably don't even know are freaking true. And so that's what I mean. Through my journey over since 2018, I have learned a lot of myself. And like I said, the self-reflection is painful sometimes because, like I said, I think back and I think, I can think of 3 or 4 people right now off the top of my head I wish I could reach out to today and just be like, I know I said some shit that I really wish I hadn't said to you, and it's just like, I know I can't take it back, but I can apologize, and so.
That's a big man of you.
Yeah.
I say fuck them. It got you over that bridge. Here you
No,
are today. You're a better man because of that experience, and so you
a couple of them deserved it, but for the most part, most of them didn't. So,
well, I'm glad there's a self-reflection. Speaking of losing your shit, how is Coach Dad doing? Because I'm looking at you as Coach Bombay. So how's these badass kids?
I would say I'm much more Roy Kent from Ted Lasso than Bombay from The Mighty Ducks.
Okay.
Yeah, I caught that reference.
Thank you.
But no, it's been very eye-opening. I'm actually enjoying it. Learning a lot. For those of you who don't know, I follow a lot of sports. I'm actually a pretty big sports fan. I love racing. I love football. I love basketball. I love baseball. Baseball is probably lower of my scale, but there's one sport that I don't know much about, and that's soccer/football. And so I've definitely been learning. The guy that runs the whole thing in Tucson, his name is James. He was great. He came last night before my practice and just ran me through some things that he does, during practices to keep the kids engaged. Because the first couple games or the first couple practices, I felt like I was corralling cats for like half the time. And this week was better. I was able to, keep them all engaged, keep them all in drills. And one of the other dads stepped up to help me, as much as he can during the practices and stuff. So that's great.
Nice.
I know all the kids' names already, so that's good. I was afraid I was going to be like, you over there, you. But I already got their names learned, and it's been fun watching Dominic. Okay. It's been interesting because the kids didn't even realize he was my son until last night.
Stop.
No, they didn't. So
they're just like, wait, like real dad?
Yeah. Like, well, just because
my mom was still the babysitter of all of us, especially Rob.
That's
Believe
funny.
Me. Yeah.
But no, it was more, when we got there, he was just out in the field, kicking the ball and whatever. So he wasn't really coming up to me. And before we started all this, I said, look, I'm going to have to pay attention to all the other kids, right. So I can't be focused just on you.
You tell him you call me coach. Don't call me dad. You call me coach.
I didn't tell him that. He can call me whatever he wants, but I just told him, I said, you just don't get upset, because I have to pay attention to everybody, and he's done really good with that. So good that, like I said, most kids didn't even realize he was my son.
Well, during those water breaks, he's calling you motherfuckers. So that's what it's about to be.
Well, yeah, I'm telling you, last night it was like it was 102 still at 6 o'clock last night. So when we got there, the first thing the kids started saying was, are we going to have to run suicides today? And I was like, of course we're going to have to run suicides today. And then I looked at my watch and I saw the temperature and I was like, you know what? We're not going to run suicides today.
We're going to walk though.
I was like, instead we're going to jog and you're going to dribble the ball all around the center of the field. There you go.
There we go. Adaptable. I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, our first game's tomorrow and it's going to be 107.
Stop.
And they haven't canceled either. They just sent out an email like, we're still going to play. They're like, the competitive teams have all canceled the afternoon games. And of course, our game is at 11:45. So we're like the second to last 8 time slot. So it's like right about noon is going to be when it starts getting like 104, 105. It starts climbing quick. Well, thankfully I've got a tent from one of those, tents that you see at the fairs and stuff from when I was campaigning. So that should be big enough, I think, for most of the kids to at least sit under and shade, when they're not out on the field. And then, of course, we'll have cooler with waters and Gatorades and keeping them hydrated will be.
And if there's any trolls here, if you guys could send a pizza to what's the address? We want to feed these kids. So
I don't need to make it easier.
Please send the pizzas to these children. All right, troll one and feed children. There you go.
That's funny.
Here we are, man. Here at Hold the Mic.
Speaking of trolling, I want to move on and troll Donald Trump a little bit today. Can we do that?
Hit him with the mic.
Hit him. Thank you, Rochelle. I appreciate it. We got Angry Bunny here. Thank you, Angry Bunny, for promoting us.
Everybody's dope.
I reshared it. Hey, big brother, I see you out there. Peg, thank you, everybody. Hey, Brian, sorry we were late. That was on me.
Sorry, we got the whole squad here, man. It's good to see everybody.
We got everybody. Thank you so much. And again, we're adding new countries every month to the podcast download. what is it? I think it's Centerville, Tennessee. We have like 120 downloads in that one city. So whoever our fans are in Centerville, Tennessee, we love you.
Hey, and shout out to Timothy Smith, man. First time live. That's what's up.
Oh, nice.
Welcome, man. Welcome to the show.
So seriously, thank you everybody for downloading and telling your friends about us and everything. We're in 321 cities now, and I think we're still sitting at 24 countries. So that's in 33 episodes. I think that's pretty freaking good, personally.
We're doing okay.
I think we're doing okay. I think we're doing okay. You know who's not doing okay though? Donald freaking Trump. That's who's not doing good. So a little breaking news that came out today. Judge Shutkin gives Trump.
Judge
is it Chutkin? I'm sorry, Judge Chutkin. Thank you. Gives Trump lawyers 2 deadlines to object to Jack Smith's redactions: October 1st to object to the motion, and then October 10th to object to the motion's attachments. So we could see at least some of the actual evidence of Trump's crimes before the election.
And what did we talked about this in prior shows? I said, here we go. It's going to come out, and it's not going to be a case. It's just going to be information that we all want to know. And
we all want confirmed.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's no walking around.
And no, I'm sure there's going to be new information too, but I want stuff confirmed. I want to know, like, yeah, that's true. Yep, that's accurate.
You know, I watched a documentary, Stop the Steal, on Max. This is not a plug. We don't work with Max. But Ryan, I really thought of you. I was like, they're really putting out the skinny. They're spilling the tea. All these Republicans in this documentary. It was good. I tell everybody to check it out, especially if you're like, oh, what was January 6th and what was the whole lead up? Not even just that day.
What was the name
Stop the Steal is the documentary.
Yeah.
And it's the lead up. It's literally from election into January 20th. It's like, wow, like that really went down, or I should say January 6th. But with the spillover after.
How it went down, yeah.
How it went down. The people behind the scenes who was talking, the governors, people in Arizona that you would probably know the names of.
Yeah, the 11. They're in court right now. The fraudulent electors.
Yeah.
There's 11 of them. Shout out to Kelly Ward. I know you blocked me on Twitter, but I'm still out here coming after you. Still out in these streets. You and your husband.
Yo, man.
Hopefully they're going to put you all in opposing cells.
Oh, my God.
Y'all can just stare at each other.
Speaking of, man, I didn't realize that Diddy, literally, like I said to you, is down the street, and Crypto Boy is over there, too. The one that,
Bro.
Oh, they're sharing the same VIP cells. Let me tell you.
These Diddy memes. These Diddy,
man.
the baby oil. Dude, the baby oil videos on TikTok. If you haven't gone down that rabbit hole, first off, let me just warn you.
R.I.P. baby oil sales is all I gotta say. All right,
you had like a 75-year-old like old man's wheeze right there.
Asthma. I'm like the kid from Malcolm in the Middle. Okay, you're lucky I'm not just like leaning in on this.
Oh my God! Like, the baby oil videos have been priceless. You will. So the warning is, if you go down that rabbit hole, you're probably going to be there for about 4 to 6 hours. So just plan accordingly. Bring snacks. Plan your bathroom breaks. You're going to be there for a while.
Tell the fans.
We shouldn't be laughing about this because this dude has left behind a pretty long list of victims. It looks like.
Please read what Angry Bunny just posted.
What did Angry Bunny just post? Diddy the Diddler did it. That's gonna be like a language coach, his new thing. Like, here's what I want you to say before you go out on stage. Diddy the Diddler did it. Now repeat that 10 times.
Speech impediment gone. You know what? Biden should start doing
that.
It
cured my stutter. Yeah, that cured my stutter. Oh my God.
So good.
So I don't know, man.
Well,
my gut tells me that this is going to be bad for Trump.
Yeah.
My gut tells me that, but history it tells me that he's probably going to get away with this somehow.
No, because this is the judge that's not playing that game, and this is the judge who is right now has to.
It's not the judge I'm worried about.
No, but this is what I mean. This is the judge that has to decide what the immunity is.
Yeah.
So this is the one that brought the whole idea of the immunity case, not meaning that she did. No, Judge Chutkin said, I need clarity on this. And this is what the Supreme Court then passed, of course, down. But it's now on her to decide what is immunity versus what is the breaking the law.
Yeah.
And so she needs to clarify some of these things. So some of these motions, and Jack Smith has been lining up, just lining them up, just really
And I want to
tap them in.
And I'm going to say something that I've said a few times, but I think I need to say it more often. I think it is very important to remember that Jack Smith and these other prosecutors, what was it, Fonnie Willis? Who else am I missing?
You have James, Letitia James here.
Letitia James, thank you.
Yep.
So these people would not have put their entire careers on the line to go after this man and set a precedent that has not been set before. They would not have done it if they didn't think they had the goods on this guy. I really firmly believe that. Like, these are not stupid people. And you'd have to be one stupid mofo to step to the plate to go after a former president and not have the goods. Like, you'd have to be stupid. So I'm
really hoping the RICO case in Georgia does actually get picked up and back on track. The DC one looks the most solid when it comes to like information coming out before the election. Clearly, it's the last one that's standing. Yeah. After the election, you'll have back here in New York with Marshawn passing judgment, whatever that is, which I do heavily believe is going to be some type of house arrest or something, because there's only one. It only makes sense that it would be something that he would feel would become an issue before the election. Right. Yeah. If he's taking away any rights for this man to travel, of course, there's going to be voter fraud, blah, 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 interference, this and that. And, they're going to cry foul play left and right. I mean, they're crying foul play about his sexual assault. Yeah. It's just like these people are gross in all ways, all capacities. They just want to play the victim.
Yep.
And with Judge Chutkan, it's interesting to me because she's of Jamaican descent. I believe she's actually is Jamaican. Like, she moved here and got had her humble beginnings and did her thing. Really? I wouldn't be surprised if that's why this man is attacking Haitians, not knowing the difference between the two, and why he's doing what he's doing in Springfield. It's just the sheer level of his ignorance, and also how low he's willing to go and happily go. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where some of these attacks really are stemming from, because this judge is not giving him an inch. She's not playing around.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up her Wikipedia right now.
But it's quite telling to see how...
is an American lawyer and jurist serving as early life, was born in Jamaica. She was born in Kingston, Jamaica.
Here it is.
Yep.
Yeah. But, we're talking about Donald Trump here, all black is shithole countries. So it is what
When did she move to the States? Father.
And she can't be bought like Eileen Cannon from where she came from.
Yeah.
But, this is where we're at. So we got those 2 dates. So something very serious. So by October 2nd, we will have an answer for the first motion. And then October 11th, we will have the second redacted and or at least an answer to will they, won't they. So we'll have some more information coming up real soon, guys. Real soon. And Kamala is really taking a lead in some of the polls, which polls don't vote. We understand how that is.
Yeah.
But it's really getting underneath his skin.
I know they're trying to counter it with some pretty ridiculous stuff. So my brother said, do you think they will have a Halloween costume of Diddy?
They already do, don't they? I just saw one of Mayor Eric Adams.
Like, what are they going to do? Carrying around like a big thing of baby oil? Like,
all you need to
trick or treat.
One person has to show up as baby oil, and one person just needs to show up in any type of shiny moon suit. Diddy back in the 90s. Look,
geez.
That's it. That's all you
take
need.
Take that.
Or just do the white party, and you already know what you're doing. Yep. The ideas are there.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But baby oil definitely has to be one of them.
I don't know. Anybody that has a bed, like the entire size of their backyard, I think that's a huge red flag. That's like a huge red flag. Like, can you imagine walking in that dude's backyard and you just see he's got his arm around you and you just see a big white fluffy bed and that's the entire backyard? Like, tell me your butthole wouldn't pucker up.
All I'm saying is there's a couple people who are real quiet that used to be in his inner circle, and only time will tell.
And the people that are deleting like decades worth of social media posts.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Everybody is looking back at their resume like,
it's like,
was I at that party?
Yeah, it's
a
like,
lot of people.
I'm not guilty.
Yo. And I'm thinking about J-Lo now. I'm just like, he's the only one who said you were the best one. So
crazy loves crazy. Look, man. Look, fuck, I'm gonna say it. There has to be something wrong with her. There has to be something wrong with her.
You just took a second to say. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
Yeah, just sometimes you just gotta make sure, is it worth it?
Something wrong with her. I mean, okay, yeah, sure. Dude, this industry is wild, man.
Dudes, I mean, yeah, but I'm just talking like she's a beautiful woman. She's accomplished. Like, she seems pretty intelligent. Like, it's like Halle Berry.
Yeah, well, Halle Berry is different. I won't put those two in the same boat, but I will say that the industry made J-Lo, because J-Lo can't really sing. But, the industry helped with technology, everything. I mean, she could dance. She's been a dancer. She was a fly girl. If you look back at her original humble beginnings with In Living Color, so like she's done her thing. There's nothing to take away from that. And she's extremely hardworking. And that's the thing with the music industry. They will create you, or you say you used to. They don't really have the artist.
It's a little harder now. Yeah.
It doesn't exist. It's non-existent. And they're collapsing left and right because of the streaming wars and people trying to figure out what's what. Even you and I have talked, Twitter doesn't pay artists for their music. And so there's this huge lawsuit that's taking place against Elon and what's going on there for the copyright infringement. So, it's the Wild West that's kind of happening.
Yeah.
In this industry. But for J-Lo, I don't know, man. There's something there.
Yeah, I mean,
but I definitely think she's in deeper than most.
Yeah, I would think so. Like you said, it's too many things have come out to support a lot of the stories that we've heard.
Right.
And the movies that people make on, the celebrity cults and all that stuff, that stuff wasn't just made up. Like, people were exposed to this scene and ended up writing, manuscripts and books about it. They're like, and it's a freaking cult.
Diddy talks about J-Lo like Trump talks about Maxine. Is it Ghislaine Maxwell? What's her name?
Ghislaine Maxwell?
Yes.
Ghislaine.
Think about that. Like, the way Diddy talks about J-Lo is the same way that Trump, like how it's like
wish her the best.
And,
right.
Yeah. So something's there.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm going to say the same thing I said with Epstein, though. Not every single person that took a picture with this dude was part of the nasty crap that he did. Like, we have to be somewhat fair. Like, just because somebody had a picture with him doesn't mean it.
Right.
And I say that as somebody who frequently posts the photo of Elon Musk and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Right.
And making that connection. But still, you really do have to, unless you have some proof, a photo with somebody does not necessarily tie you to their evil deeds. Now, if you have 20, 30, 50 photos and videos and all that stuff, and you were like best friends and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, that's a little different.
I'm not going to say what I'm thinking.
No, say it. I can't be the only one getting in trouble on here. Shit.
I was going to say, if there's a video of J-Lo, please let it leak.
Oh.
Just saying. Take that.
Oh, good Lord. Take that. Oh, God.
So let me go ahead and get canceled. Thank you, guys. It's been a fun
Baby
time.
Oil song. Watch me put it on. Oh, my God.
I'm trying to get in trouble today. Apparently.
Yeah, we're going to get canceled before the end of this show.
All right.
So before we move on from Trump, I think we need
Trump or the diddler? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Like Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I need a handler.
Fuck you for that joke. That was uncalled for.
Where's Angry Bunny? I need you to direct me. Where do I need to go with my life?
She's laughing, so clearly she's just enabling you. They're all enabling you in the comment sections.
Yes, they are. I feel seen. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So Trump is now selling a crypto coin
Oh
that
yeah.
is getting launched, which is, of course, just another pump and dump
This is
scheme.
major, man. This is major.
Like, before we go down this even further, I just want to say, if you are somebody who still supports Trump and you are buying this man's bullshit, you deserve everything coming. Like,
It's it's a match made in heaven. Stupid loves stupid, man. It just is what it is.
like,
If you're gonna keep falling for it,
yeah, that's the thing. People keep falling for it. So of course he keeps doing it. These people wouldn't be doing this if they weren't making money off of it.
well, no, well, keep in mind who's making money. It's only his family that's doing business with him.
Mm?
You know,
So
RNC.
you think a lot of people have learned?
I think people are not following his. Let me say this: the people who are investors, they're not getting in bed with him. It's the
Yeah,
people
they know.
who are.
Most of them know better
It's
by
the
now.
people who are dropping coins. Who are like, I want to support my president. But the bigger thing that I'm thinking about is the foreign entities who are putting money into these, industries of his because they want favors, and this is the legal way to do it.
Yeah,
They're buying, stock or whatever his company was. They're buying the coin, which is going to be completely unchecked. You know what I mean? It's not. There's only so much that federal government can actually get involved. Which I sent you some information about it, but Coinbase is literally sitting here as a free promotion for Trump because he's pro crypto, and it's like it was really interesting to just see this movement within crypto where they're like, this guy's for us, but she's not. She hasn't had a strong stance. So who do we want? We want him. Less regulation. It's like, but we just had literally this massive fraud with the crypto boy, where he was taking everybody's money and then he was putting it into something else that he had no business doing. But granted, he made so much money off that to put that money back. It didn't cross over at the right time, and it was just an illegal move.
yeah.
And then they just got his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, for 2 years, and it's just like, what is going on? And that was Sam Bankman-Fried, and it's
Yeah.
like, what is going on here? Where, it's again the Wild West. It's like this is something that's so new and alien to everybody, and this is just Bitcoin or a blockchain technology with crypto versus what it could do with information. So it's leaps and bounds, and our government don't know anything about it. All these people who are over the hill. Chuck Grassley he's not going to be telling you anything about blockchain. I'm telling you right now. Nor is Mitch McConnell.
Oh, Kamala Harris is down at the border right now. So the best one for me so far, though, I don't know about you, but Trump is selling watches.
First off, his wife went on TV talking about people can't afford groceries, this, then, the third, and then 4 hours later, he launched this new enterprise.
This travesty.
$100,000 for a gold watch.
So, the
5
quality
years
of
from
this
now-
gold watch.
5 years from now, when you see people with green wrists, we'll know which idiot bought this shit. Okay, I'm telling you right now.
That reminds me. So this happened. I don't remember when it was, but it was whenever Charlie Sheen was still making the rounds, and I don't think it says the year. So this was Charlie Sheen on the Graham Norton show talking about his interaction with Donald Trump and the quality products that he likes to give folks.
Now, I have to say, I'm slightly surprised that Piers Morgan's doing it, because I don't know if you know, he's a big Donald Trump supporter. And I know you're not a fan.
I'm really not. No, I am reminded of a time about 5 years ago. I was at a dinner with my ex-wife Brooke and her family and this and that. And about halfway through, I noticed Donald staring at my watch. And so he started saying, listen, I'm sorry that I wasn't invited to your wedding, this and that, or I'm sorry I can't make your wedding. And I think I didn't invite you. So he says, but I want to give you an early wedding gift as a gesture from me and Melania. And she doesn't say a word. She's very sweet and very pretty, but just kind of sits there,
Yeah.
Anywho, So he says, these are platinum diamond Harry Winston, and he pulls off his cufflinks, and he gives them to me. And so I'm like, oh, gosh, Mr. Trump, you really shouldn't do this. He goes, no, it's the least I can do, and, have a great marriage and all that. Little did he know. So smash cut to about 6 months later, I had some jewelry getting appraised at the house, and she finished and was leaving. And I said, oh, yeah, there's another couple of pieces that I have that I'm very curious about. Would you mind appraising these? She said, no, what are they? I said, well, I explained the dinner and this and that. And these are from Donald Trump, Harry Winston, flawless D's, platinum. She took the loop, spent about 4 seconds and kind of recoiled from it, much like people do from Trump. And so she says, in their finest moment, this is cheap pewter and bad zirconias. And they're stamped Trump. And I just thought, what does this really say about the man? That he said, here's like a great wedding gift, and it's just a bag of dog shit,
That doesn't that just say it all?
Every single thing that he's come up with.
Like every hat, every shirt, you know what you'll never see on a Donald Trump merch. I'm gonna show you. I got my Kamala shirt, and right here, right there, that's a union bug. You hear me talk about these things. You see them on almost every single piece of campaign propaganda, T-shirts, bags, it doesn't matter. Democrats use union print shops and support high-paying jobs in everything that they do, even if it's with printing their campaign stuff. That's why you see 3 times as many Trump signs, because when you get them printed in China, they're a hell of a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know, man. I saw a lot of Harris. A lot of Harris.
I'm seeing a lot of Harris signs too,
oh, yeah.
But it's definitely, you're seeing a lot more Harris signs than you saw Biden signs. Even in 2020.
A lot more American flags than I'm seeing anything.
Because I think for the first time, like we said, a month or two ago, for the first time, people are actually excited about voting for somebody.
Right.
We can all sit here, do I think Biden had a good presidency in terms of things that he got passed and the recovery that he had to do? Yeah, I think he had a good presidency. Was I excited? Was I excited to fucking vote for him in 2020? Not really. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and lie. But if you're putting him up against Donald Trump, that was a no-brainer.
Right.
Yeah.
Burnt toast look better than
that. Like I said, I'd put a chair, in office before Donald Trump. But this time we're seeing what we saw in 2007, 2008. Yeah. We're seeing the same level of excitement of, oh, okay, we really are about to turn this page, and we're about to put our first female president in the White House.
It's Year of the Woman. It really is Year of the Woman.
And
the
it's about high,
and it's them for the fight. It's them for the fight, and that's the biggest thing I have literally thought about, that it only took this to bring the country together, because it's been men tearing it apart since day one.
And the thing that made me truly a believer was during the debate. And I knew that I wasn't going to walk away from the debate feeling very different than I already did. But of course you try to go into it with an open mind and say, hell, who knows? Donald Trump could come up with 5 points that make me go, oh, shit. Of course, it never happened. But when I watched Kamala Harris and how she handled that man for the whole, what was it, 90 minutes or 60 minutes, whatever it was.
90 minutes, yep.
The whole time, she did not raise her voice. She did not lose her shit, even when he tried to talk about her family. And all of her responses were measured, and all of her jabs were well placed, and she didn't overproduce on hitting him with the personal shit. She kept it back to, we need to turn the page, and these are the things that we need to focus on, and these are the things that I will focus on. And oh, by the way, here's a few plans for you in case you actually care about things like that.
But those little landmines at the end, just showed you the preparation, and it is.
She was prepped, and
really
you know what? And the funny thing was, if you go back and watch us streaming that, you remember she was nervous
at the beginning
when she came out.
Yeah.
And and instantly I thought of one of my favorite documentaries has been The Redemption Team. If you've never watched it, it's on Netflix. It's about the 2008 Olympics basketball team. And in there, Chris Bosh said, he talks about how nervous he was. And he's like, you can't control how your body responds in those situations.
Yeah.
You just have to deal with it. And that's kind of what I was watching with her. She came out, you could tell her mouth was dry.
Yes.
And anybody that's been in those type of speaking situations, exactly what that feels like. And it's horrible. Your mouth dries up. You feel like you're not going to be able to talk. Your tongue is making weird noises. And then you get even more nervous because your mouth is dry and that the mic is picking that up. And it was just but once she settled in, it was maybe the first 3 to 5 minutes. After that, she was locked in. She was golden.
And it was the conversation about abortion that she was like, "Now's my time."
Yes.
And she stepped in and she's like, "I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight."
It almost felt like, okay, that's what I'm prepped for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're getting into what I'm prepped for.
And she was ready to box. It was a rope-a-dope.
And the best part for me was, one of the best parts, I should say, was the aftermath. Because beforehand, Donald Trump was saying that, he's debated, done 7 debates and he's the master of that. And everybody was laughing on the right, I should say. Mm-hmm. They were criticizing Kamala because she had spent a week, I guess, prepping for the debate.
Yep.
And then she shows up, just completely annihilates him. They act surprised. And then they start crying about she cheated. No, she didn't cheat. It's called preparing. None of those questions that were asked made anybody in America go, ooh, good question. Hadn't thought of that. We all saw those questions coming from a mile away.
Cheat codes?
I could have answered those questions.
But let this be a warning. If they're going to act like this for a debate, what are they going to do when they lose the election? And we all know what the answer is.
Yep.
So this is who we're dealing with, and there's no point in arguing with this. You lost. No. Your boy didn't read the book report on America, and this is what it is. He couldn't give a presentation, and he looked like it. He looked like a fool. He literally started talking about something that was debunked, and the best part is that they complained. Why did they fact check him so much but not her? Well, let's look at that. He told more lies. She maybe did tell a lie or two, and they said something, and therefore there's the calculation. More lies from Trump, more fact checking.
Yep.
Statistics. It's all there.
See, and Juan had similar thing. So my first day as a radio DJ, I did that whole dry mouth dribble, and then I was good the next break. I still do it on the podcast when we have guests. I get nervous for the guests. With you, I'm good now, because I know we're good, and just if I'm off, you're gonna be there to pick me up, that kind of stuff. But anytime we have prime example, we have our sponsor. We have our sponsor, which is Mod Atlas and Justice AI, and the man behind it, Christian Ortiz. We were supposed to record a very good, 30-minute episode of what he's doing for you all. And we still will. We're still going to do it, but we went to go do it, and everything that could go wrong with the software did, and we weren't able to do it. So, shout out to Christian Ortiz, one of our sponsors, and Justice AI. Go look it up. I really do look forward to doing this episode for you guys because it's it's touching on AI, which I feel safe in saying I'm pretty ignorant on.
It's here, man. It is here.
It's definitely here, and I see that now. So it's kind of I feel like that old man, like my dad, saying, "Show me how to use the flip phone again." I feel like I'm reaching that era of my life.
Hey, Dom.
Yeah, exactly. it's gonna be Liv. Dad, it's like this. I already see it.
Liv's like, I don't have time for you. Okay,
bro.
I'm getting on my hover bike.
Are you done? She's gonna be like, "Do you got it yet?" I have my Genshin Impact to get back to.
I'll be on my jetpack. Deuces. It's like,
Pretty
all
much,
right.
man.
Well, Jeff,
The funny thing is we have an Oculus, and I don't think she likes like the flying and stuff. Man, it does. It feels a little crazy. Like I got the roller coaster one, and I had to sit down while I'm like,
Stop.
because it makes you feel like
Yeah,
your
yeah.
stomach actually goes up, like you're actually doing it. It's crazy.
Oh God.
So, anyway, so I just thought that Charlie Sheen tie-in to everything that he's trying to sell, because
It's
this
next,
dude
man.
is great. $100,000 watch. He's got $10,000 gold shoes. He's got he's selling silver coins that are
Just
three
grifting.
times.
Just
Yeah,
grifting.
he's charging 3 times what the actual silver is worth. Like, and the
NFTs,
the crypto I think is a funneling. I think that they're funneling money and washing it. Yeah.
And speaking of criminals who are funneling
Speaking
money,
of criminals who are funneling money, let's talk about the New York City Mayor Eric Adams, shall we?
got him.
Hey, that was a good transition, sir. I like that.
Very good transition.
I like that.
We've
All
been
right.
working on our segues on our off time.
Well, I think since let me read this, and then I want to hear from you as an actual New Yorker.
Yeah.
How you feel. But for those who may not have heard, the current New York City Mayor, Eric Adams, was handed a federal indictment charging him with 5 counts of bribery, wire fraud, conspiracy, and 2 counts of soliciting campaign contributions from foreign nationals. It was a 57-page indictment. So apparently this was between 2016 and October of 2023. He allegedly committed 23 different overt acts, which include accepting free flights and hotel rooms and coordinating straw donations. Adams allegedly accepted over $123,000 worth of luxury travel benefits between 2016 and 2021 without disclosing any of it. And I just want to remind everybody too, before Ian talks on this, is that this is also a former police officer. Just keep that in mind as we're talking about all this. That this is a former police officer that was elected mayor.
Oh yeah, yep.
So
and he ran on being a cop. He ran on like
very heavily.
He said, "I'm with the cops." He goes, "I'm all about cleaning up the streets. I am with you. I am blue collared." It was a lot of things that were built around being on the side of justice. A lot.
Do you remember when he was on the subway and he called in somebody being assaulted down on the ground? Do you remember that during his campaign?
Yes. Yeah.
Or no,
Yeah.
it was. I think it was his first day of work.
Yeah.
And I remember everybody in the comments being like, "Aren't you a former cop? Go down there and do something."
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So I didn't vote for him first and foremost. He was not. I
I wasn't going to ask.
No, and I'm happy to give that answer either way. I voted for Maya Wiley. I thought she was amazing. I thought she'd be dope. I thought, again, bringing in something different to this city. Even though Bloomberg, looking back, did a great job on holding it down here, just because New York is so forward thinking.
Yeah.
Culturally, everything, like, you're not banning.
He wasn't a horrible mayor.
He wasn't a horrible mayor. He was moderate more than Republican, but he was a Republican at the time. But he ran as a Democrat, right? So there's always that blurred line. But the city was getting back in order. I mean, the biggest issue we had was stop and frisk in the city, which I have not had to deal with because it was very targeted. And if you pass, you were walking right by it. But this man running for being a cop in New York, with the brightest lights. This is a main hub for being a mayor. Like, this is not Mayor Pete in Indiana. This is New York City.
New York City is a stepping stone to the presidency. Very easily.
Really is. It really is. And the thing that's interesting about this with him is that, he reminded me a lot of Kwame Kilpatrick in Detroit.
Oh God, yeah.
Minus the flashy bling earrings and it was the suits, the way he held himself, the way that he tried to campaign, the way he tried to connect himself with certain young people. And I was just like, I've seen this playbook before, where you're trying to do a lot of it in the clubs and you're trying to make yourself a part of that scene. And one of the biggest things about him is that he started hiring his brother and close family members and people, almost like a goon squad, and putting them in strategic places throughout his administration. And I was like, why is your brother like the head of security? Like, what's going on here? Hasn't been a cop in forever. There's just a lot of gray areas. But
there were
oh,
a
man.
lot of red flags right off the bat.
A lot.
There really were.
And just a lot of things where he seemed like he was for bought. Like he was up for grabs for the 1%. He looked like he was just up to be grabbed. Like,
yeah.
However, you can buy his access.
Yep.
And this is a perfect example. But same thing goes with Bob Mendez in Jersey with getting the gold bars. From Egypt. So it's like you're seeing this influence fluctuate into the politics. The difference is that Democrats hold them accountable. How much do you think this is happening on the other side? They're just like letting it slide by. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's not. Matter of fact, Tommy Lahren, she tweeted something out saying that the Democrats, the system is going after their own or something like that, implying Democrats are going out. I'm like, that's how it's supposed to work, you clown. Like the system,
DOJ is trying to.
Yeah, the system isn't supposed to have sides. That's the whole freaking point.
Right.
The whole freaking point. Yeah, here it is actually. So, this is what she said. She said, if you're wondering why the system turned on one of its own, and she had some stupid video from a right-wing account. And I said, you people are special. The system isn't supposed to have sides. This is literally how it's supposed to work. You're not very smart.
I like how you start your hellos. You're special. So let me sit you down. Like, you don't even realize how funny you are when you start the insult. You're special. So let me sit you down. Okay.
I mean, it's just like Elon Musk. Elon Musk was out today. He's getting fact checked on his own freaking platform.
Yeah.
Like this is, and here's the kicker. The kicker is how many people actually like it.
Right.
These aren't people. I'm convinced of it now. Elon Musk has bots. He doesn't have followers. Like, and the people that do follow him, I just don't think that they pay attention. Like, here he is. He said, you can't just convert a nonprofit into a for-profit. That is illegal. And it fact-checked. U.S. law allows nonprofits to be converted into for-profits with like 3 awesome citations of why Elon Musk is a moron. So it's like, this is the guy that you guys think is going to save the world. This guy's a moron. Like, he and his whole account is right wing, pushing Trump and all this stuff. And then today he's talking about what was it? Once you understand the Kardashev scale, it becomes utterly obvious that essentially all energy generation will be solar. Also, just do the math on solar on Earth, and you soon figure out that a relatively small corner of Texas or New Mexico can easily serve all U.S. electricity. And I replied and I said, then why are you supporting the party that actively lobbies against solar and renewable energy resources?
Right. It's
like,
so wild.
I actually agree with him on that. Like, every house in Arizona should have free fucking solar panels, and we should be pumping out electricity for the whole freaking country.
Yeah.
Like, and the only reason that isn't happening, by the way, is lobbyists and corporate greed. Because what happens to the electric companies that make a shit ton of money off of us? What happens to them when we're all independent on solar energy? They don't make any more money off of us. Matter of fact, not only do they not make any more money off of us, but we are able to sell the electricity back to them, and they have to pay us.
That's right.
That's what they don't want.
Yep.
And that's why I don't understand why people vote for Republicans, because it's like they don't actually want you to be independent. They may say they do, but they want you dependent on them. They want you dependent on the system. Like that is literally what they want. They may say something else, but they want everybody dependent on the system. They want you dependent on that paycheck. They want you to they want that. The minute that we don't
poison,
the minute we don't have to depend on an energy grid, the minute that we can produce our own food, the minute we become independent and we don't need them anymore, that takes away all their power. And Elon Musk is nothing. He's literally Donald Trump. He sells his name. He sells ideas that he can never deliver on.
Right.
Like, he's not Steve Jobs. Like, Steve Jobs could actually deliver. Elon Musk is a moron. Like, you just look at Tesla. Like, the first car that all of us fell in love with, the Roadster, that was created by the 2 guys that actually started Tesla.
That's right.
And then Musk ran those 2 out and, took it over, essentially, and we ended up with the Cybertruck and the Model 3.
Yeah.
Like, great, you've got something that looks like it's off of the Roblox game and a driving thumb going down the road. Like,
It's just
Ray,
so wild to think about. I mean, and even some of the concepts, people, they were like, well, solar doesn't work on a cloudy day. And it's like, guys, God damn it. Do you know
really?
how battery works? Do you know how bad,
And
like,
by
it
the way,
charges a battery and
solar does still. It may not be. You may not be
Yes.
getting 100% of the charge, but you're still. It still
getting
is putting out.
There's still UV ray. You could still get sunburnt on a cloudy day. It happens, guys.
See, that's
Come
what I
on.
mean, dude. Like, and to me, as soon
Science.
as somebody says something like that, I have a big like flag that goes up my head. It like says moron. Like,
Special.
and then next says move on, because you're not gonna. There's
Don't
no
ever argue with an idiot.
There's
Don't.
no good faith intellectual conversation to
No.
be had with this person. So, and that's where I need to get better at just being like, okay, you're clearly not. You're not serious.
No.
And you haven't done your research,
We're
or
talking about in life. You're not serious about
yeah,
life.
or
Like,
you just
you're
don't
not-
understand, what it is you're reading or what's
Right.
being presented to you, which, by the way, that's fine. Like, I don't understand everything the
Or-
first time somebody
or-
presents it to me, but go figure it out.
You think your remote control is magic. Like, you don't understand how a battery works. Like, those are things that you have to understand about certain people.
Technically, matter of fact, my remote control is technically magic, and the reason because it has a solar screen on the back, and all I have to do is flip it on its face, and it recharges. Imagine that,
That's magic. You get that witchcraft away from me. All
right? Yeah, they'd be putting me in the ground for having something like that back in the day.
Oh, my God.
And when I say back in the day, I mean 1964.
There you go. Real quick, special shout out to Juan. I want to say check up on you because you guys in Florida are dealing with that hurricane. How are you?
Oh,
How's the family?
yes.
How's everybody in your area? If you could just write to us, let us know, man. But we think about you.
Yeah, my brother's in Florida too, but he said that they were good there. Yeah, we got a couple listeners actually in Florida, so definitely thinking about you. And actually, my wife actually just texted me. I might, if Ian takes the mic for a few, I might actually pull it up because it sounds kind of important. The dams have apparently broken in Tennessee, causing extreme flooding, and North Carolina is flooding too. So it sounds like a lot of people are going to be displaced and dealing with this. So definitely in our thoughts, and don't want to see anybody lose their life over this.
No. And if you
it's just property. Get the fuck out of there. You can replace a house. You can replace a car. Can't
not even
replace
that.
your life.
Be careful because there's like literally alligators swimming in Florida
That too,
right now.
yeah,
Like,
well.
you guys be really careful about getting out and walking around in that water or whatever that is. So the footage is just wild.
Yeah, in Florida, I think I'd go for my roof before I'd walk in that water.
Yeah.
Like the helicopter, please come get me because I'm not trying to go Crocodile Dundee.
It's not, just can't happen. Just cannot happen. But so with Mayor Adams here in New York, a lot of this is coming out with Turkey, for what they wanted and why this all kind of transpired. And it showed, these foreign entities that we could be bought. And I'm glad
Now you're
that
talking about the Turkey consulate.
Turkey
correct?
consulate. Well, the country first off wanted its consulate to be built, and then they were not getting the building codes. Fire department, New York Fire Department, was like, this is not going to pass. Like, we need to do this properly. And the thing about New York is that when you see some of the illegal builds that have been here and see what's happened and how they've been condemned and what's collapsed, you understand why they take it very serious here. Because it is a grid. It is hard to get around when you're deadlocked in traffic, which we could talk about, especially with the UN going on here. It's like you're in a situation. And so for them to pretty much spend all this money, I mean, we're talking about allegedly $123,000 worth of luxury travel between 2016 and 2021 alone. So and he didn't even disclose any of this. That's a lot of money. That's your boy as a Supreme Court justice.
Somebody actually said that. Let me see if I can find it.
That's some Clarence Thomas numbers, and that's flirting with just some travel, because he's racked up millions. But when you see the dark money that's within politics, and you realize that's what you're going up against, what killed me was the money that he was raising and not claiming, and then he was twisting it to be like it was donations here in the U.S. to then be matched by constituents, and it's like, well, wait a minute. You can't just be playing this funneling game and then getting matches by something that has to do with another country's government. Like, this is it's so wild to me.
Yeah.
And that's why, and like I said, Miley, Maya Wiley, she I thought would have been amazing. She's now a correspondent in the news, and she's doing her thing. And I'm just like, she just sounded like a great voice of reason that we needed here in New York. But this is, he's already pled not guilty, and we'll see what comes out of it here in New York. But it's not looking good. And keep in mind that Governor Hochul can remove him if she sees fit as the governor.
So I just want to ask you just like put it simply, how does this make you feel as a New Yorker?
I mean, it's New York. You see the crime. To me, a cop and a criminal have the same mindset, and that's how they chase each other. That's how one outsmarts the other. That's how one captures the other.
Yeah, they think the same.
They think the same. And so I think it's a fine line that you could teeter either way. And I also think that we might want to review some of his past cases and really think about what his resume is.
Hadn't even thought of that.
Because when you're talking about someone being this comfortable at this level to do global, right? Do this type of crime. What was happening when it was on a local level, and who did you step over to get to where you're at today? So I'm thinking a little bit deeper about Adams, and it's sad because you want to see somebody like him achieve. You're like, okay, look at this guy. He did everything right. He became a cop and he did all these things, and he was on the right side. At least the display of that was. And then you're like, and then look, he made it to become the mayor of New York, one of the biggest cities in America, one of the most, diverse cities in the world. Like, it's like, okay, this is great to see a black man doing his thing. And you're like, you're no Obama,
No.
and it's one of those things where you quickly go, there's something off about you. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's like, well, now here's some receipts, and it's like, okay, let's see what happens in trial, because the New York district, Southern District, is no joke. They're the same district that went after Trump. This place is definitely, they do the work. And so I am seeing him. I'm seeing things come to fruition.
Hey, thanks for following the show on Twitch, if I might. Appreciate that. It's unfortunately, like you said, a lot of this, I think people kind of saw the writing on the wall of possibilities.
Right.
But, like you said, now here are the receipts.
Right.
This actually happened. And so now we have something to actually go off of. And I still appreciate the fact that I vote for the side that more times than not hold their own accountable. Like, if you break the law, you should be held accountable. It shouldn't matter what political affiliation you are, shouldn't matter what color you are, it shouldn't matter what religion you believe in. None of those things should matter. The system should be as non-biased as possible. If you break the law, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter what your position is in the military, none of that matters. You break the law, you go to jail. And by the way, anybody who was in the military will tell you, if the MPs, one of the reasons that some of them liked their job was because they got to hem up anybody. So, and this did happen. Like, literally, I watched this happen.
Yeah.
So you're coming into the gate and you get some high-ranking member of the military, an officer, if you will, and they forget their ID. And they try to get onto the base without their ID and start pulling the whole, well, don't you know who I am?
Right.
And the MPs are like, yep, know exactly who you are, but you still don't have your ID, and I'm still not letting you on the base.
Right.
And it's like, at that point, if the commander or the officer continues to press the issue, like, that MP is going to pull you out of your car and put you on your face.
Right.
For not doing what you were told to do.
Right.
And that's the way it should be. Like, just because you may be the commander of the base, that doesn't mean that you get to break the rules. That doesn't mean that you don't follow the same, verification process that we all have to come on base.
Right.
So it's just, I wish that the Republican Party could be like that, because if they were, Donald Trump would have been gone a long time ago.
You would just think that anybody who's running for any type of seat, it just has the morals that you can be proud of for your kids to look up to.
Yep.
Like that, it's really hard to stomach that you're telling your kid not to be an asshole, and then you're like, but here's my president.
Yeah.
You know
But
what I
I'm
mean?
voting for the asshole.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's really hard to give that signal to your child where they know they pick up on more than we do, because they're taking in everything.
That's true. I think kids pick up
we put
on
our blinders. We're like, I'm done dealing with this shit. Kids are just taking it all in.
And it's funny you said that because I'm learning. I'm really picking up on that with my daughter.
Yeah.
Like it's as much as I try to keep her innocent, and everything. It's amazing to me the things that she just picks up on just from hearing, the show, hearing Jen and I talk, hearing me and you on the phone, just all those little things. Like it makes her start.
So sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, but it makes her start asking questions.
Because I talk that shit. I definitely talk that shit.
No, she hears my side. But no, it's just like, she's already starting to ask questions that it's like, I think as parents, maybe you're not ready for your child to be at that level yet.
Right.
And she already is. And so I'm having to accept that and be like, okay, so it's time for us to start having these conversations then, because you are inquiring. Right. I think it's very different to, I think a lot of us from our generation, a lot of us were probably forced into religion some way, shape, or form, or forced to go to church or whatever. And it's very different when you choose to go versus when you're forced. And I think that this is very similar. So,
but it also is a testament to show how great of a father you are because you have raised her in a space to be inquisitive. Yes, it is who she is. But it's one of those things that really kind of is she knows that she's in a safe space where she can start to ask these questions. She's not in a place where she's like, oh, I need to, get in the corner and not talk or anything like that. Like you really have given her a space where she can actually now venture, and she has the gray matter. It's there. You and Jen are both very intelligent people. So it's like, it's there. It is there. As my dad would say, we don't raise no dummies. We don't raise no dummies.
Yeah, she's genetically gifted.
Yeah. So it's like, ain't no special on that one. All right. That's just.
No. But, all joking aside, I'm very fortunate. Both my kids are very, they're both smart, but they're both very kind and they think about other people.
And that's what we need. We need more of that.
And that's especially Dominic. Like Dominic, he's in that period where he's trying to find the balance of being a, nice kid, because he's got such a good heart and being able to be a little aggressive.
Right.
So like, just on the soccer field last night, he was when they were scrimmaging, he was getting pushed around a little bit and he's not really used to that. This is his first time playing soccer.
Yeah.
And so when we were driving home, he was kind of telling me how he didn't like it. And I was like, okay. I go, that's okay. I said, but you need to get out there and be a little aggressive too. Like go after the ball. It's okay to bump a little bit and what. So it's just
or learn how to flop like the best of them and get that card, baby.
Nah, I ain't teaching my son how to flop.
Hey, it is chess. It is 4D chess to do that flop on the game, baby.
Right now, I'm just trying to get him to figure out to kick the ball with the inside of his foot, and not his toe.
Just make sure they know how to win the game. Get that flag. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Won a couple of games with that flag.
Yeah. No. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Yeah. So, real quick. Hopefully he doesn't watch the podcast. So I have a co-coach, and no, thank God for this guy because he's been an amazing help. But our second practice, he's like, we're all trying to clean up, and the kids are still kind of playing around. And he was standing in front of the goal, and one of the kids was like, and the kid wasn't even that far away. I'm talking like maybe 10 feet. And the kid just wows up and kicks the ball into the goal, and it just hits the dude right in the nuts. Like crippling down to the ground. Like I saw it happen. I was like, oh,
coach was down.
Like, dude, like my stomach started hurting. Like it was that bad. And I text him the next morning and I was like, hey bro, just checking on you, make sure you're all right.
No icing?
Like, he said, I definitely needed the night. I was like, you're coming back, right? You're still going to coach, right?
Still down? Still down.
Oh man. God. Yeah, it was brutal, but
It is everything.
And the worst part was the kid just was like, "Oh, sorry," picked up the ball and went running to go keep playing. Like, I'm like, you just like ended that dude's baby making factory, and
Game over.
Game over.
These kids don't know though yet. They need to drop.
Yeah, he don't
first,
know yet.
or he knows the real struggle. That's.
Oh my God. So speaking of struggles, New York is a bit gridlocked right now.
Yeah, man. So for those y'all who don't know, I live here in New York and I work in the city, and I live in Brooklyn. And when the UN is here, it's the worst time. It is just the worst time because you have world leaders, presidents from other countries posted up, and with that comes a lot of Secret Service. There's a lot of one-way streets that get blocked up. And, your brother said that I need to have a show called I Talk That Shit. We're going to have a segment. Ian Talks That Shit. That's what it is.
That.
This is the segment. Ian Talks That Shit. I'm going to talk some shit about New York. So this grid, when we tell you that I work maybe 3 or 4 miles away from where I live, it takes me literally about an hour and a half to get there during the UN. That's not far. It's really not that far, but it is painstakingly a journey to get to where you got to go. And the worst thing is I try to outsmart it and get a little earlier because I'm like, ain't no president going nowhere at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. Like they're leaving roughly around the 9, 10-ish, right?
Yeah.
And I'm around. I'm not going to name which president. I don't need none of y'all to know my locations, but definitely just know it was a president and a foreign country. And so the Secret Service and I always get into it every year. And it's because they step onto the property that I'm around, and I'm like, hey guys, can you guys just give us a little bit of space? Like, just don't be in our space. Whatever the case is, just stay in your little section and protect whoever need to protect. and so this year I was walking back to my office, and security jumped me. Like they put their hands up, hey, you can't come over here. I was like, my man, first off, hands off me. Second off, all right, I go, you guys do this shit and this is how we talk. This is how we talk to Secret Service. I go, we do this shit every year. I understand you have a job to do. I too have a job, and I'm trying to get to my job that is right there. I go, so let's wrap this up. I go, president's not coming out yet. I already know everybody that works there. I know everyone there. Let's just wrap this up. Like, go ahead, talk to your commander, but you're holding me up now. And he goes, but you understand. I go, I get it. But you got a little microphone. Call your boss and be like, can this dude pass? Because I'm trying to wrap this up right now. And he's like, you're just really just outspoken. And I'm like, every year we do this. This is not a tourist just sitting here. Oh my God, who am I going to see behind that door? You're like, no, you are holding me up. I got shit to do. And so it's just wild how so many people have stories. Everybody about how they're stuck in traffic, delayed, cop cars crashing into other cars, and you're like, what is going on? Like, why is it that people just don't know how to act during this time frame? But it's a grid. It's New York to me is such a small town. It's such a small grid, and it's like, like I said, I know some of these ambassadors. I see these people every day, and it's just, we're pleasant. I'm walking a dog. I'm hanging out. Hey, how you guys doing? Eno's with me. Oh, is that Eno? It's just, these are the things that exist right in my life. And I always laugh. I go, these are my problems. These are my problems. So
speaking of grids, has anybody checked to see if Grindr's freezing up right now?
In New York? Please. This isn't a Republican convention. This is the UN. All right. This is what we're doing.
Tell him, bro.
Tell him, bro. If this was a Republican convention, yes, there would be a shutdown. There'd be drag queens galore. You know what I mean? Like, let's be serious. No, this is the UN.
I'm so glad you said that.
They're looking for more mail order brides. You know what I mean? To call in. This is a different situation, different clientele.
So, but for those who may not have had the time to tune into the UN like us weirdos, I think it's safe to say that Biden stole the show.
Man, Biden, he's a quiet giant, man. He's not loud. He's not screaming for your attention, but his words are piercing.
Yeah. Yes, and speaking of some of his words, he said, "We must never forget who we're here to represent. We, the people. These are the first words of our Constitution, the very idea of America, and they inspired the opening words of our UN Charter. I've made the preservation of democracy the central cause of my presidency. This summer, I faced a decision whether to seek a second term as president. It was a difficult decision. Being president has been the honor of my life. There's so much more I want to get done. But as much as I love the job, I love my country more. I decided after 50 years of public service, it's time for a new generation of leadership to take my nation forward. My fellow leaders, let us never forget, some things are more important than staying in power.
That's bold, man.
It's
Say that last line again. Say that last line again.
My fellow leaders, let us never forget, some things are more important than staying in power.
That right there, I think, stole the show.
Yeah,
that's truth to power right there.
And I like, it's almost like he's getting his goodbye, right now.
Oh, my man's doing the goodbye tour right now.
And it's good, but I like the message that he's putting out as he's doing it.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that, Kamala and Tim Walz have both made appreciating Joe Biden and getting us here part of their campaigning. I think that is going to ultimately help us move forward and move on from this presidency. But next to that, the other really, I'll say, interesting thing that happened was when Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu,
Bibi Netanyahu,
got up to speak. There were some people that weren't really having that. And here's the video of them walking out.
I request protocol to escort His Excellency and invite him to address the assembly.
So, I mean...
Man, this looks like a Trump rally. People just walking out. just out. Bye.
Order, please.
I mean, that's
Ladies and
more than a few.
Order.
That's more than a few.
And if you look around, it looked like half of them didn't show up to listen to begin with.
And here's the thing: this is like
Order,
these are world
please.
leaders. People can't this is not just some random strangers. These are people who are very important from their countries.
Yep. I mean,
Man,
that was a lot of people that got up and left.
I request
Tough crowd.
protocol to escort His
Very tough crowd.
Excellency.
But let me ask you: do you think that? Do you think it's rightfully so that the crowd be that upset?
I mean, I think a protest is a protest is a protest. And I think that if you're going to use your platform in that moment where you have the world's eyes on you, and this right here, I think this is not anti-Semitic. This is,
No.
We do not stand by anything you have to say. We do not want to hear from you. What we want is a conversation about a ceasefire. And if you don't have anything to offer us that is that, we are out.
Yep.
Because everything you have done thus far has been about you prolonging this war. And
Yes.
there's a part of that where it's like, that's not anti-Semitic to say. But
No,
when you're
it's
following a
it's
Jewish
factual.
kid into a store and you're harassing them, that's not doing anything but being anti-Semitic. And it's like, we all need to understand where those lines are drawn, So doing this to the man that I have talked mad shit about, Bibi is an asshole. Two things can be true. Some of
Yeah.
the worst people are leading this, and neither side wants a ceasefire. But it's insane to me that we protest only one side of this. When you have someone like Hezbollah who's been firing 8,000 rockets since October 8th, before even Israel responded to October 7th.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's hard to have these kind of dialogue. And, and yes, we touched on this topic last week, even though there's, a back and forth between Robbie and I, and it shows you, even within a family, we don't agree on certain things, but it's like, there's a certain element there where I can't just scream ceasefire, but not ask for the hostages. And I don't,
Yeah.
and I know Rob didn't say that. That wasn't our arguments.
No,
But
but
it's
I
those
think
things.
we talk about it on this show a lot, which I'm kind of glad we do. We talk about the gray area and how this war and everything that's happening is not black and white. It's not. It's very hard for me to come out and support Israel with Netanyahu behind the wheel.
Right.
Like you said, just because knowing that he's not really interested in a ceasefire.
Right.
And then on the flip side, knowing that, can you ever really trust a terrorist organization to follow through with their word?
Right.
Most rational people would say no. So, it's not black and white. It's not simple. And I hope most people can see now that, we can all argue over should we or shouldn't we be sending weapons and money and, this, that, and the other. But I think I hope most of us can agree that Joe Biden is not causing this. Joe Biden is not the one stopping the ceasefire. This is much bigger than just us.
Right.
And I hope people remember that when we go into the voting booth November 5th.
And it really is interesting to see people who are trying to politicize that and be like, Trump's gonna, he's gonna stop this. And I'm like, Trump's not looking for any type of world peace. He's looking at what benefits him first and foremost. That's where he operates.
And peace does not benefit him.
No. And he's going to find whatever is necessary between that, his friendship with Putin, and his friendship with Bibi. He wants to make certain things happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if this asshole tries to build a golf course in Gaza. Like, let's be serious, guys. That's who this man is. He's a special one.
Well, and I want to expand on that a little bit too. The reason that Trump, I lost it. I lost what I was going to say. Sorry.
Well, it's interesting to see the UN in general when you see the people come together and what their world message is.
Yeah.
The Colombian president has a beef with the 1% talking about climate change and what their effects are doing, and I'm very thankful because he's an environmentalist and he's an indigenous individual to Colombia, and he's bringing this world peace type of mojo to the table regarding the fact that it's not about the everyday people and recycling. It's the world traveling, the Elon Musk, the Bezos, even the Taylor Swifts, who are literally creating a majority of the pollution by their boats, their private flights, their lifestyle, their carbon footprint. Like, he's actually bringing the fight to them. And that's what's so interesting to see from a world leader, and it's like, thank you for actually bringing that message to the table.
And the reason that Donald Trump wants war and doesn't want ceasefire is because he rules off of chaos. Mm-hmm. And if there's peace, what do you look at in your leader when in times of peace? You look for, what are you doing for us? What are you doing for the American people? What are you doing for the country? What are you doing for our infrastructure? What policies do you have? What ideas do you have? And the minute you start asking Trump those kind of questions, he freezes and doesn't know what to do, and he has to move the goalpost or change the subject or blame somebody else or do whatever. But the one thing that you will never hear from Donald Trump is a fucking idea. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I think at this point, if you're voting for Donald Trump, it's literally like holding a sign saying, I support a rapist, I support domestic terrorism, I support an accused pedophile, he's a felon. What about this man do you think makes him a good leader? More importantly, what do you think about that Donald Trump brings to the table that Kamala Harris doesn't? What makes Donald Trump more qualified to be president of the United States than somebody like Kamala Harris?
I will give you, he has a great imagination.
Yeah, well,
the bullshit he comes up with.
Well, go work for fucking Disney then. You don't need to be in the White House.
Oh, Disney's past their racist era. Okay, this is not that Disney anymore. This is not that. But you know what? He has an imagination that is like no other. And,
it is,
and you have to live in a magical world because of all the failures that this man has had, all those L's that he has taken, and yet he is still here.
And I think I'll end it on this. I think anybody in America should question somebody running for president who is simultaneously starting a crypto coin, selling $100,000 watches, selling NFTs, selling gold sneakers, and the whole time talking about deregulating markets. So this dude literally wants to deregulate markets so him and Elon Musk and everybody else can make more money off of us and get zero accountability when things go south. Like, that's literally why people support Trump. Right. So, and that's not even talking about the rape, him being an accused pedophile. Like, that's not even talking about all the personal shit. That's just talking about what he's doing. He is a grifter. I seriously don't even think this dude wants to be president. I think he wants the money, and I think he wants the power to try to keep himself out of prison.
He doesn't want to visit Diddy.
That's the only reason this dude is running, is because he knows that if he wins,
you know how much baby oil he needs?
He can Thanos this shit away.
Well, actually, Georgia, he can't.
Well, just remember, Diddy's not going to prison. Prison's coming to Diddy. Okay,
hey, man, and that's why this Agent Orange is not trying to go there. All right, because he has no power against that oil.
I hope it doesn't happen, but it would not surprise me if Diddy ends up same place Epstein did.
Oh, that goes without saying.
One of two reasons: either because he's too much of a pussy to do his time, or there are people that really don't want him to talk. Whichever one it ends up being.
He has tapes, and if he was not a smart man, he would not have those as a backup somewhere to be released upon.
I'm telling you, I got thumb drives. I got. Remember those old CDs? I burned old CDs of you bitches.
You know what I mean?
They're in a vanilla envelope in a bank somewhere, waiting for you to mess me up.
That's right. That's right. If he does not have that, then that's a done Diddy.
That's a done Diddy. Done deal Diddy.
Oh, done Diddy.
Done deal Diddy. Oh God! And with that, let's move on to our positives for the week. Besides us not being Diddy and not needing cases of baby oil,
no Diddy,
no baby oil.
Oh my God!
It reminds me. I was watching a documentary on Andre the Giant.
Ooh. And
it was talking about how he hated Macho Man Randy Savage because he was always covered in baby oil. And they were talking about, Randy Savage would come in and start trying to talk to him about the match, and he'd yell at him and say, "No baby oil," and tell him to get out. And then he'd punish him in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Andre, I was just wondering, get out.
Gotta love these guys.
Oh, man.
What's your positive?
My positive is that I have good health care. So luckily I went in today and I thought I was having surgery on my shoulder. So if you've watched the show, then I've already talked about it. But for those of you who haven't heard the episodes, I had a couple of I won't call them cancerous. They were abnormal things that came back, like moles that they had taken off at the dermatologist. So one came back pretty close to cancerous. It was that abnormal, so they want to go out and cut more. So I thought I was having that done today, but it turns out that I was actually going in to have a check, and we found another one on my arm that didn't look real good. So we went ahead and took that one off. So I just, I've had 2 back surgeries. I've had my colon taken out. I have Lynch syndrome. I'm just so thankful that I have insurance, and good insurance, that, because I can without a doubt say that if I didn't have the insurance I have, that it would probably have bankrupted my family by now. So I'm very thankful for that. And it's also one of the reasons that I do what I do, because I know that if I didn't have what I have, that we wouldn't be okay as a family.
Yeah.
And I know that for every one of us, there's 3 families that don't have that kind of health care and don't know what they're going to do if their kid gets sick, or if they get sick and they have to miss work or whatever. And so that's one of the reasons that I come out here and I fight the way that I do, because every American should have at least the basic amount of health care to save your freaking life. And one of the things that saves lives are checkups. The ability to go in and get your skin looked at, the ability to go in and get genetic testing to see if there's something that maybe your family carries. Like for me, it's colon cancer.
Yeah.
Just all of those things. Like I said, if I hadn't found out when I was 25 that I had Lynch syndrome, I wouldn't have known to get colonoscopies every year, and I wouldn't have found those really bad polyps when I was 37, and I wouldn't have gotten my colon taken out. Like, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
And so just days like today, and by the way, my dermatologist is awesome. Shout out to Dyson Dermatology in Tucson. They're freaking amazing. It just going through it today and getting to talk with the dermatologist just really reminded me of just why we come out here and we fight these battles and we try to get this legislation passed so that, everybody can have basic healthcare, basic life-saving checkups.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you want to look at it from a bean counter monetary, position, it actually saves, it will actually save insurance companies money to pay for a basic health screening than it would to wait for somebody to get cancer. Like, it would actually cost them more money. So it's like preventative maintenance on a car. If you constantly get your oil changed and all that stuff, your engine's probably not going to blow for a really long time.
That's right.
But if you don't check the oil and you let it run low and all those things, you're going to blow your engine. And it's going to happen, it may happen at 30,000, 40,000 miles.
Our bodies collect these miles, man. You
got to think your body, I got a lot of miles on these tires, but you really
Mm-hmm.
do have to think your body the same way. Like you have to get those checkups and you have to take care of the little things before they become big things.
Yeah.
So that was my positive. I just very thankful for the medical team that I have here in Tucson. I think most 42-year-olds probably don't have as many doctors as I have, but
no, man, I think it's a beautiful thing that you have this great setup, but at the same time too, just your clarity and the what you say to the show, because you're encouraging a lot of young men who may not be thinking about this, and I
especially when
really
you have
appreciate
families,
you sharing it. Yeah, and and just putting it out there, just documenting it, and that you're staying ahead of it. I think it's a really great message that you bring on this subject matter, because it's true. There's nothing masculine about not getting a checkup. Like,
No.
go get checked out, man. Just know your stats. Know
And
what's going on.
especially, I get it. You don't, especially as us men, especially from our generation and older, so you just get some really stupid stuff put in your head, dumb masculine stuff. And it's like, oh, I don't want to let a doctor put his finger up my butt. I don't want to put a camera up my ass. Well, I got news for you. That finger up your ass, that camera up your ass might save your life.
Or it might be at a Diddy party. Who knows?
It's at a Diddy party. That's a little different. That might not be life saving.
Take that.
Yeah,
We
take
found
that.
something.
You might be taking that for the wrong reason, but but if it's a doctor,
Dr. Diddley. What?
you're just not gonna let that go, are you?
Dr. Doolittle, Dr. Diddley. There it is. It's all there.
What's your positive for the week?
My positive, and I should stop right now. Mine's a little. I have a problem, guys. This is my therapy session.
Yeah.
No, my positive is a little bit more darker, but there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, so it's one of my positives.
One of your normal positives, right? Watch the world burn, but you know what? We're still here.
But we're still here. Yeah.
We're still here. That's the positive in it.
Just don't look up.
Yes, don't look up. One of the saddest things I can say is a dear friend of Rob and I, mostly Rob's, passed away, and he was your age, and just happened this Monday, a brain aneurysm, and I have lost now 3 friends to brain aneurysms. And I want to encourage anybody who may think or may have it running in your family and genetically to get checked out, get a MRI, just again, knowing your stats.
Yep.
The thing about this, and his name is Diego. Diego was this amazing human being that really lit up a room. And I met Diego. He worked with Rob at a bar, and I would DJ at this bar when I first moved here. And Diego and I really got along. We really clicked. And so these are, much like you, friends of Rob's. And then I became little brother, and then I would just hang out with everybody. Diego was a partier. He was the life of a party, and just would light up a room, and amazing human being. And it's really tragic for this news to come out. And the positive of it is seeing this wave of social media of people reconnecting and posting and cherishing this man's life and them sharing their stories about their experiences with him. And I want to share one with you that is one of my favorite. And it was when I worked with Beyonce, and it was here in New York at Barclays Center. Barclays was brand new. I got to work with the VIP section of getting all the people in and out. And guys who don't know me, I've worked in the entertainment industry and I've done all these different things, and I've been like jack of all trades. And at this one section of my life, I was doing concerts, and I did this concert, and the reason why I did this concert was to the one thing I wanted was to get tickets so I could thank Rob for helping me get me aka move me into New York, give me my first apartment, and then I said, bring a friend, and then I'll bring, at the time my girlfriend, but wife now. And so, and good night, Rochelle. Love you too. And so, one of the big things is he brought Diego, and I asked for Diego because I love Diego's energy. I said, who would be a great friend to have at this event? And so here I have Diego, Rob, and my wife sitting in the Beehive for this concert. This is the Miss Carter tour, and it was amazing to see these boys light up. Like, to see them, like, this was one of those like pinnacle moments of like, I've done really well in New York, and here I get to share it with my closest circle. And it was the moment, and I have this this Polaroid that was taken from that night, and it lives on my fridge, and it lives on Rob's fridge. And it was one of those things where I was like, man, it just took me back to how special that night was. And it was just reliving it just this week. And I've been looking at his picture, and I was like, just an amazing soul. And I always think about how the good die young. And it's one of those things where, we all have our own troubles, our tribulations, we walk our paths. And, but, there's certain, and we have our demons, but there's something about us as individuals that we bring the most out of other people. And Diego was that soul. And so my positive is rest in peace, King, to Diego, sending a lot of love to you and your family. And definitely all the loved ones, the friends. You were a special human being, and I'll think about you to the day I die. So that's my positive. Giving love to Diego.
Yeah, man. Sorry for you guys' loss.
It's I've lost a lot of people in my life, and my wife and I talk about this a lot. I've been losing people since I was a teenager, and it's just one of those things where I just feel like it's another etch on the board where I'm like, wow, like I didn't think that one was gonna go anytime soon. So, but it's it's life, and this is the thing why we have to fight the fight that we do, and not a lot of people know this, but this is actually why my nose is pierced. It's a constant reminder to live life to the fullest. That was a special one that died that I was like, I gotta have a constant reminder always around me. So I pierced my nose for that one. But it's one of those things, man. It's a you got to keep on moving. You got to keep their spirit alive, and that's the biggest thing. But this is why we do the checkups. We do everything we got to do.
Yeah,
collect those miles.
I know, man. It's I think back to just my graduating class and how many people we've lost already. From people we graduated with. And like you said, it's, even if we hadn't talked in 20 years, you still knew that person, you knew their personality a little bit, sometimes you have, when big celebrities pass away, it hits you hard because, either their music brings memories or their movies bring you memories or whatever. Absolutely. So they feel like they're part of your life. So of course, when somebody you went to school with, somebody you actually knew, that was like somehow a part of your life, when you lose them, it definitely hits hard, and whenever, we lose somebody from our class, it's just like you said, it's that reminder of it could be any day. Could be
life
any
short,
day.
So you better really, don't let it pass you by, but
yep. So
it's one of those things. So not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but it's one of those things where
we might need to work on our positives a little bit.
And that's our show. Bye.
With that said, make sure you like, subscribe, of course, hold the mic. Button. Yep, Hold the Mic is available for download on all your favorite podcast streaming platforms, iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, all of them. So you can download us, take us with you anywhere. Make sure you tell your friends about us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. We're on Kick. We're on Twitch. We're everywhere. So make sure you come follow us. Make sure you go check out Ian's music. Just type in Ian Sherman on Spotify, and it'll pull up all of his music, and you can go download and listen, stream some of those for him, and that might put a few bucks in his pocket. So that
they
would be
don't pay,
nice.
but you know what? Enjoy the music.
But enjoy the music anyway. I know, dude. Like, so just real quick. So I have that screenshot I put on Instagram. It's got 16,000 likes. It's been viewed like almost 1 million times.
Yeah. And
it's got your song on it. So I was like, if you're getting paid for streams on that song from Instagram,
and you go to the show.
No, but that one post I did should have put some money in your pocket.
That was on Twitter, right?
No, Instagram.
On Instagram. I have to follow up with you on Instagram. We'll talk
okay.
about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
It's interesting. I'll tell you what I'm working on right now. But yeah,
okay.
it's interesting to see what's coming out of that. But
we were supposed to record a show today with an awesome,
the lovely Sarah.
With Sarah, and they were with our Vote Repro organization. So we weren't able to do that because she is in one of the areas affected by the hurricane, so she didn't have power or anything. So we rescheduled that.
Shout out to her. I hope you're staying safe.
Yeah, and definitely look forward to doing that show. With that said, a big shout out to our sponsor, Justice AI and Christian Ortiz, for supporting us and sponsoring the show. We greatly appreciate you. And good
luck tomorrow for your game, man. Good luck.
Yes, thank you. I'm sure the kids are going to have a good time. I'll do a video letting you know how it goes with all the heat. It's going to be like 107, but we're going to make it.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, with that said, thank you all for your support. We see you from everywhere, all over the world, all the cities that you're downloading in. We get to see it through the analytics. So we see you all. Thank you so much for supporting us all over the world. It is an honor. With that, much love. Keep fighting. Stay safe out there. And whatever you do,